Barry Tramel, the Oklahoman columnist, he joins us after a late night and early morning. Barry, thank you for getting up. Let me go back to up 3-2 going back home, and the feeling that you got around this Thunder team was what?
Expectation. I think they were serious. I don't think they thought they had it, but I think they were confident, as they should have been. Last two times they'd played the Warriors in Oklahoma, they'd won by 28 and 24 points. So I think they were pretty confident. And going into Game 6, frankly, for 45, 44 minutes, they played well.
My big concern with them was, and you pointed this out, and I agree, that you look back on Game 6. It's not going to be Game 7 where you do your what-ifs. Game 6 was where you look back and go, what happened when all of a sudden you changed your whole philosophy? The ball didn't move. You were forcing shots. They went back to sort of what they did during the regular season in the fourth quarter. It feels like they forget what got them to that point, and it all goes south after that.
You know what? I mean, it's a little bit like an addict. You know, you can get somebody off something. But sometimes they go back, and sometimes it's temporarily. Billy Donovan did a great job changing the culture of that offense, changing the mindset. Mm-hmm. And we saw it in the San Antonio series. The Thunder played well down the stretch of games when they had to have it against the Spurs. Same in Game 1 here in Oakland. But sometimes you just sort of fall off the wagon, and not all transformations are really smooth. So I think the moment I think you saw some pressure get to them, and when I say them, I'm not talking about Steven Adams and Andre Robertson. I'm talking about Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant. I think they got a little tight, and when it gets tight, they do two things. They throw it to each other or they hold the ball. And, that's the last thing they needed, and it cost them. It's something they'll have to live with, but I think it's something they can learn from.
Is there going to be criticism back home?
Oh, not from anybody with a clue. Look at where this team was. They won 55 games. They were a good team, and they were playing on the horizon was King Kong and Godzilla, two of the 10 best, 12 best, ever how you want to draw the line, regular season teams in NBA history. Over a month's time, they went 7-6 against those two teams. Beat one, could have beat the other, should have beat the other, ever how you want to say it. But I was pretty impressed with them in Game 7. To come out and fight like that, knowing what they had squandered in Oklahoma City, and to come out and play like that, have a chance down the stretch to at least win. So anybody that really sort of pays attention to what's going on has to respect what the Thunder did. It's just so massively disappointing, though, to be that close in Game 6 and give it away.
Do you believe Kevin Durant when he says he hasn't thought about free agency?
Heck no. I wish he had. He's such a delightful guy to deal with. Why would you say something that's not believable? I mean, that's just nonsense. What he's really saying is, I don't want to talk about it. That's what he's really saying. You might expect that from Russell Westbrook because you never get anything out of Russell, but Kevin's really insightful and somebody that you can talk to. So that's a little frustrating. I'm sure Thunder fans were hoping that they could hear something a little more encouraging from the podium last night, but he's been consistent about that. At least I'll say that. He's all season long. He's been a blank page when it comes to the free agency talk. So not overly surprising, but it's not the least bit. Of course, he's thought about it. He's probably thought about it a ton. He's probably talked about it a ton with those in his inner circle. So now we just sit and wait.
Is his future tied to Russell Westbrook?
I personally think yes. I go back to Dallas series a month ago, which seems so long ago you can't even remember it. But when Mark Cuban said Russell wasn't a superstar, and Durant came to his defense pretty adamantly. But the quote I remember from that night is later when Dirk Nowitzki comes in the room, and Dirk's sitting there on the podium, and Dirk always pulls the microphone out of the stand and just holds it and leans back and acts like he's run a marathon, which in some ways he has. So he's sitting there, and somebody tells him that his boss said Westbrook wasn't a superstar. What do you think of that? And Dirk got this sly little grin and said, I'll take him. So, I think Russell does a lot of wonderful things for everybody he plays with. Now, he's impossible to live with, for crying out loud. I can't imagine what that's like. But to play basketball with, he's developed into such a distributor. He had 13 assists last night. The Thunder had as many assists as the Warriors. Russell Westbrook is great for Kevin Durant. I think Durant's going to stay. I'm generally an optimistic person, but I don't think he's going to find a better basketball situation, especially with the way Billy Donovan developed. He came in, he changed the offensive culture. People weren't sure that was true, that it would hold, what a difference he had made. And then in the playoffs, you saw it. This was a different and a better team with Donovan coaching it. And I think Durant and Westbrook have come to appreciate that. I think they realize they have a pretty good thing going.
Barry, safe travels back. We appreciate you getting up early. Thank you.
No problem. See you guys later.
That's Barry Tramel, Oklahoman newspaper columnist.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.